So when we create teams, one of the things that we focus on is the size of the team. We don't want a team that's too big, maybe 5 to 7 people. Now, for a lot of the wicked problems we're dealing with in PDIA, that's really difficult because you're dealing with a problem that impacts many organizations, has many different officials from those organizations, politicians involved, etc. And one of the reasons why they end up in the PDIA world is because of all of these different agents. So you say, well, how do we have 5 to 7 people in a team? And in many cases, we would have authorizers say, you can't do this with 5 to 7 people, you've got to have 20. We say, well, 20 you can't move with. And so how do we deal with that? Well, we develop what we call a snowflake strategy. And the first strategy is you have your team, and your team is 5 to 7 people. It can change a little bit, but you don't want to change too much because you actually want to hold your team together as much as possible. But you want to leverage relationships of the people who are on the teams. So this is not the extent of your agency strategy. As you move along, you find out that the team says we need data from a certain place so that we can better understand the problem. You say, well, where does that data come from? And this person over here, let's call them person number A, says, well, actually, I know a guy. Let's get that from this person over here. Reaches out to this person, and this person says, well, I don't really have that, but I know someone who does. And they say, well, I have that, but how about we get better data from this person over here? And then we say, well, how about we also use that information so that we can bring someone else into the loop? And what do? Well, we've created a kind of a connecting point. Now, we can do that with every single person in our team. These people don't have to be in the team, but they create separate teams of themselves. And we can essentially build the big network model out of this and create a shape which is commonly called snowflake. Now, the snowflake is an interesting phenomenon in science because it's known as one of the strongest structures that you have in science. And so when you create this kind of structure, it can be something that's really strong. You have your pivotal team with their key relationships that branch out to others. Now, the beautiful thing is, if you think about this, you can carry on going forever. And it means that you can create both a strong central structure for PDIA and a broad reach structure so that you can bring a lot of people in. Some of the ties are going to be strong ties, some of the ties are going to be weaker ties. But this is what's going to allow you to get throughout the system, but also have a small enough unit that you can move along quickly.